The most common pattern in humanity, all great writers and sages have seen this, but some people made it a study to look at human beings and the stories of their lives. And some of you remember Joseph Campbell, who studied all the great myths of humanity, literally in every generation across different cultures. And he discovered that the stories of humanity had, no matter what culture, no matter what the background, no matter what their belief about who is God, or what God is, or whether there's even a God, that all of these stories seem to have certain things in common. And he called it the hero's journey. And I think it's really important as we go on this journey together, not this trip, remember trip's predictable, a journey, what makes it interesting is you're not sure what's going to happen at different times. You're going to meet interesting people, have different experiences, but it might be useful to have this pattern in the back of your mind. What does that hero's journey look like? Well, you can make it really complex, and he does at times, but we could break it into 7 quick little pieces if you want to jot it down. And I'll give it to you in the form of maybe a story almost all of you know. How many know the story of the Wizard of Oz? Raise your hand if you know the story of the Wizard of Oz. In any person's life, we get to a point, and I don't know if you're there in your life right now, but often we get to a point where we have a certain level of stability. Like we worked hard, we got to a point, we have a certain structure to our life, and you get to that point. And when you get comfortable, life is about growth. Now, if you want to know what life's about, you can see there are 2 laws of life that are immutable, and it doesn't matter on this planet anywhere. Everything in the universe grows, or at what? There's no exceptions. If your relationship isn't growing, it's dying. You better do something now. There's no such thing as a business that's not growing without beginning to die. That's what it is. So it's continuous growth that makes us feel alive, by the way. People ask me all the time, you've traveled the world, you met millions of people, what's the secret to happiness? One word, progress. It's not even achieving what makes you happy. Because think of something you achieved that was amazing. How many achieved something amazing and then your brain went, is this all there is shortly thereafter? Isn't that the worst feeling in the world? That's worse than failing. Because at least when you fail, most of us, we get up and we just do it again, find a better way, right? But if you succeed and you're unhappy, you're basically what I call technically screwed. But on the other hand, there are times when you don't say, is this all there is? Who's had an achievement you worked your guts out for, you finally made it happen, and you were thrilled out of your mind, and you didn't have, is this all there is? Who's had an experience like that? Make some noise if you've had this, so I know you got it there. So here's the question. How long did that great feeling last from achieving that ultimate goal? Did it last 6 years? A year? 6 months? 60 days? 6 weeks? 60 days? How many of you, it's somewhere between 6 hours and 6 weeks was probably the most that lasted for you? Raise your hand and say about. How many of you it lasted at least 3 months? Let's say 3 months. 6 months. A year. Almost nobody even a year. So what the hell are we achieving all this shit for? You bust your ass and you finally achieve it and feel good for this short little burst of time. Why? Because the universe doesn't want you to sit at the table of success too long because you'll get bored and fat. It calls to you to keep growing because when you grow, you have something to give, and when you give, you have a higher purpose. Everything on earth grows or dies, and everything on everything in the universe grows or dies. Everything in the universe contributes or it's eventually eliminated by evolution. Those are facts. Those aren't Tony's laws, those are laws of the universe. So if you and I want to be happy, it's not even achieving the goal. The purpose of the goal is what it makes of you. Jim Rohn used to teach me, what you get, Tony, won't make you happy. Who you become will make you very happy or very sad. And that's what destiny is. Who are you going to become? What are you here to give? How are you here to live? What are you going to experience while you're here? And we want to make those decisions now, not let them unfold and hope it all comes together, because rarely does that work out terribly well. But with a directed mind, we can make anything happen. And most of you have in your business, or maybe your relationship, or maybe with your kids. But somewhere along the line, you're not doing it in all those areas and not the level that you want. So if you want happiness, it's called progress. If tomorrow something's horrible and you attack it and you start making progress over the next week or so, you're going to start feeling great, whether it was your weight or tackling something in a relationship that's not dealing with or dealing something in your business. That's why it's so important to tell the truth so you can attack what's there and change it, and you'll start to feel better immediately within a few days or few weeks easily. And you'll sustain it as long as you're making progress. So that's, in essence, what we want all this to be about. It's like continuous progress will create continuous reward. So if I'm talking about the hero's journey, the journey of a human being's life, when we get to that level of stability, we tend to want to hang on to it. In a relationship, people want to be in a relationship, and it's uncertain and it's exciting. And then they get in a relationship and they don't want it to change, and then they try to hold it and control it. Well, any human being that's alive is going to change and grow. And when they change and grow, it scares people a little bit. They're trying to hold on to it. The more you try and control a relationship, the less love there is. And the relationship starts breaking down. So we need to allow ourselves to understand that you are going, if you get too comfortable, if you don't design something to make you grow, God or the universe, whichever one you believe is, I'm not here to tell you what to believe, but the God of the universe will show up, God or the universe, and challenge you to make you grow. And if you don't face the challenge, do it again. So here's what the stages look like. There's an ordinary world in the beginning of Wizard of Oz. And the main character, Dorothy, is like, her life's okay, it's there, she's got family. Well, she's not super happy, not super unhappy, she's kind of in that middle round. And the ordinary world goes to the next stage, which is very quickly something happens. There is a call to adventure. Jot it down. That's the stage. You start wherever you were, and then you get a call to adventure. Now, sometimes the call to adventure comes by when someone says, you have cancer. Or your brother or sister, mother or father, or someone you love does. Or, by the way, we're going to shut down your business, and doesn't matter you have a restaurant, there's this thing called COVID, and you can't open it. Or you have a gym, and of course we don't want people working out and getting healthy, so we're going to shut that down immediately, right? It's like something happens that it's not usually pleasant. Those painful things in our life are always a call to adventure. They're a call to grow. They're a call to find something inside yourself, listen to me, that is superior to the circumstances you are in. We are not here just manage our circumstances. We were built as creators. We can create life on our terms, or we can manage the shit that's given to us. If you become a manager of shit that's given to you, you're going to be very miserable, and what will happen is life will come and give you more problems. Hoping that at some point you will finally wake the F up and say, okay, I'm going to take the call. But most people, when the call of ventures happen, try to refuse the call. They try to hang on to what they got. No, this, I need to keep it the way it is. This is how it should be. This is how it needs to be. This relationship, this business, this economy, this whatever, we got to keep it this way. But it's not going to. You're going to keep getting hit until finally you stop refusing the call and you go on the journey. And when you go on the journey is uncertain. Now listen to me, I'm going to give you a phrase right now that is one of the most important things I'm going to tell you this weekend, but I doubt seriously when I tell you right now it'll sound significant. But by the end of these days, you will remember and you'll see how significant it is. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the amount of uncertainty you can comfortably live with. I didn't say the amount of uncertainty you can survive. Why is that so important? Because all growth happens in the world of uncertainty. In fact, jot this down. All passion is found in the world of uncertainty. There's no passion when you're absolutely certain. If you know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, what someone's going to say, when they're going to say it, what they're going to do, in the beginning it feels good, right? Because you feel like you're in control. But after a while, what will you feel if you know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen every single day? What will you start to feel? Shout it out. What? Bored out of your mind. That's why God, in her infinite wisdom, gave us the need for uncertainty. We need certainty, but we also need uncertainty. It's the second human need that we talk about, right? Certainty is a survival mechanism. If I'm certain I can be comfortable, I can avoid pain, I can be okay. But okay is not a life. That's why we need uncertainty as well. That's why we're given challenges. And if we don't take on the challenge, we'll get more of them until we're willing to go on the passion trip, the adventure, the place where we're not certain, which is where the growth will happen. And here's what happens. If you commit and start to go on that road, which she gets swept up by a tornado, if you call, that disrupts her little ordinary life, and she's fighting to hang on and stay where she is, but it overcomes her, and she wakes up in a colorful land with little people and witches and shit and wizards. Like, what the hell's going on here? She doesn't know what's going on. But when you go on the journey, you're going to meet new friends, and you're going to meet new mentors, and they're going to help you along the way. You have to trust by going on the journey that those friends will be there, those mentors will be there. If you don't trust and go on the journey, you're just going to build up more pain. And we all go through this, not once in our life. This is a cycle. The only question I'm going to ask you is, where are you in the cycle right now? Okay? And so now she goes on that, she meets him. Who are her friends? Do you remember? The Scarecrow, Tin Man, the Lion. And what are they all searching for? Some set of emotional values, courage, their brain and intellect, right? They're looking for a heart. I often feel like I'm the Wizard of Oz. You guys all come here, you fly from all over the world, and I'm behind the curtain and shit. I come out, and and then I just give you what you already have, and you praise me. It's like, you guys are unbelievable.